Hi, I'm Jeremy, and today I wanted to talk about loopholes. And it's because I came across this video with Tim Pool, and this is kind of making the rounds right now. Tim Pool's video is titled Ron Paul Seeks Criminal Probe into Dr. Fauci. Paul is right, NIH did fund the Wuhan lab, and there's proof. One of the things that I don't like is that Tim Pool is not a doctor. He doesn't have a PhD in anything related to this at all, and he's talking about it like he knows more than what he does. But anyways, what's going on is that Senator Ron Paul is talking about a criminal investigation into Fauci because Fauci supposedly was the man in charge and sent money to the Wuhan lab for developing the coronavirus, COVID virus there. And it's like, is that true? And chances are it probably is. Whenever I first saw this, I was thinking of that movie, not Aliens 3, but Aliens 4. So if you haven't seen them, I'm going to spoil them a little bit. The first one is they're in space, they're a bunch of truckers, and it's kind of a haunted house because it all kind of happens inside the ship. The second one is a little more action-paced. They've got some Marines in them. The third one crashes on a planet with some criminals. It's like a penal colony thing, except there's just a handful of people on the planet. And then I think it's the next one where they were able to get some DNA and then they kind of cloned it, but in order to do it, they had to be outside of the jurisdiction of known space or something like that, so that they could conduct these experiments because it was illegal otherwise. Well, that's the way it is with everything. That's why they used it, because it was something that people would understand. So did Dr. Fauci and whichever department that he was the head of at the time, I guess some kind of medical department, did they fund this stuff at the Wuhan lab? It's like, yeah, of course they did. You know why? Because I would not be surprised at all if there's some kind of legality that keeps them from doing it here, and so they did it in China instead. Or maybe it was just that it was just cheaper to do over there. So the reason why our computers are so cheap is because we don't build them in the U.S. We build them in other countries where they have no minimum wage laws, and we get to pay them peanuts. But that's okay for them because everything that they buy is worth peanuts. I know people that they've built up their money, they're ready for retirement, and they're literally going to go retire in one of these other countries. And it's because your money just goes above and beyond what it ever could here in the U.S. And this is what happens also with whenever they pose any kind of special tax in a region in the U.S. And this is how loopholes happen. So before we get into it, if you like my videos and content and you're tired of the lies, because I'm not here to change your mind, I'm just here to show you that these, especially politicians, they lie. And I'm going to say most of them are intentional, because even if they don't know, it's like, well, why not? It's literally your job. So give this video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, become a member. I've got Patreon and Subscribe Star. And I'll have links in the description down below for all these videos if you want to go ahead and take a look at them. And it's just, it's ridiculous. All this stuff with loopholes. So I want to go ahead and clarify one of these loopholes up right now, and this is the gun loophole. They're all so stupid whenever I hear this on both sides. So you have the left saying that, well, you can go to a gun show and you can just buy a gun. It's the gun show loophole. It's like, no, that is not it. And then you have people on the right saying, oh, well, we went to the gun show and we couldn't buy a gun. And it's like, no, that's not right either. You're both idiots, both of you. So here's what the real loophole is. So here we have at lawfinder.com, because any place will do, private gun sale laws by state. And so here we have a list of states where background check when seller is not a licensed dealer. So in Alabama, they don't need one. In Alaska, they don't need one. You can just privately sell a gun to whoever the hell you want to. Same thing in Arizona, Kansas. Now, California, big surprise. When neither party is a licensed dealer, the firearm must be transferred through a licensed California dealer who is required to conduct a background check. Colorado has one, big surprise there, or something. It depends. I'm not going to read all these. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to look at it and go through all these yourselves, or you can pause the video and read it. They've got stuff in Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., big surprises here. Florida, background checks are not required by the state. However, county governments have the authority to require background checks and a 3 to 5 day waiting period for firearm transfers. So Georgia, none. Hawaii has something. Idaho, nothing. Illinois, they've got 2. Indiana, nothing. Iowa, yeah. Kansas, no. Kentucky, no. Louisiana, no. Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, yes. Michigan's got something. Minnesota's got something. Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, nothing. Nebraska's got a little bit there. Nevada says none. However, private sellers of firearms may request that the Central Repository for Nevada Records of Criminal History conduct a background check on the buyer if you want to. New Hampshire, none. New Jersey, yes. New Mexico, no. New York, yes. North Carolina, so on. North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, no. South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, no, 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 no. West Virginia. So that's how you do the loophole check. Because whenever you go to the gun show, anybody can sign up and do that. You pay your fees for a booth. You take your guns there. And you can't sell them at the gun show. You can't do that. Most places here in Texas, you can't do that. But you can take your guns, show them, and somebody can come up and say, hey, I like that. I'd like to buy that from you. And they can say, okay, here's where we can meet later, and I'll sell you my gun. That's the gun show loophole. You go to the gun show to find somebody who's willing to sell their gun privately after hours, and that's the gun show loophole. I swear, I don't care who it is, left or right. That stupid Crowder bit where he's like, you can't go to the gun show and put a loophole. It's like, that's because what you're doing is wrong. You're doing the same damn thing they are. You're idiots, every last one of you. Lying, lying, lying. It's all it is. And then they have all this stuff with tax loopholes. Here, let's show one. So this is something that I've talked about before, is that if you want to get away with paying less in taxes, then you can create a shell company. And you can do this with different states. So like Arizona has very low taxes. So you can set up a company in Arizona and you can have them do services for your company in the state that you're in. I'll just use me for example. Say I have a business up in Texas. I can open up another business in Arizona, and that Arizona business can still be under my name and everything, but I can say that they're providing services for the state company in Texas, and it takes all the profits out. So then that way, because I don't have any profits, I don't have to pay any taxes on it, and then I can take my money out in Arizona where they don't have any state taxes. Something along those lines. But it's called a shell company. So we're going to listen to this video. It's called 7 Ways to Legally Avoid Taxes, Tax Loopholes of the Rich.
Shell companies, which are companies that do not have a physical location, don't have any products or any employees, but are used to hold bank accounts where money can pass through.
And so that's not true. You if you wanted to, I mean, you can have all that stuff. If you wanted to have a building, if you wanted to have employees, whatever, I mean, you can. It depends on what kind of shell company that you're setting up in the first place. You know, if you've ever seen a movie, for example, and they're inside some office room and it's got nothing but cell phones laid down all over the ground, it's a shell company.
Being taxed. A good example of this is the company Apple. Apple reportedly had around $285 billion hidden offshore as an American.
And so this one is different. I forgot to say that this is not talking about between states. This is talking between countries.
A company that does business internationally, Apple would have to pay U.S. taxes for money that was made in other countries. Since the U.S. is the only country that taxes based on citizenship, the company would have to pay the taxes from the country it operates in, and the rest would be paid to the U.S. in order to complete the 21%. But when there's a will and billions of dollars at stake, there's a way. Apple decided to create a company in Ireland where corporate taxes are 12.5%. Then they create another company in the Netherlands, and lastly, they have another company in Ireland that has a legal residency in Jersey, an island of...
So this is taking it to a much larger extreme. And at the beginning of the video, they're talking about how the wealthy people get away with not paying their taxes. And he gives an example of, say you're working at Google or Apple or whatever, and you get a job that pays you $1 million a year. You don't get $1 million a year, and it's because of taxes. And so with that $1 million a year, you're going to pay. Now he is saying that you live here in California too. Out of that million, you're going to pay $331,000 in federal taxes, over $29,000 in Social Security tax, and and he draws in California right there, that you're going to pay over $107,000 in taxes, and that means out of that $1 million, roughly almost half of it is going to go to taxes. And this is what I try to tell people, is that over half of your money goes to taxes, because you have your upfront taxes and then you have all of your spending taxes. So what do we mean by that? So let's take a look at things like this stupid tobacco tax. This one is from New York City Central, a cigarette tax loophole in New York. So this is another one here.
Thought about making his own cigarettes until he realized he could buy enough loose tobacco and cigarette tubes for a carton of cigarettes at the price of one pack. Now, he's a regular at this small hand crank machine in the Smoker's World store in Syracuse.
I mean, they already tax you. I mean, they tax your money before you get it in the check, and then they tax it again when you're spending it. I mean, it's all about taxes.
He's right. For tobacco, it is all about taxes. In April 2009, the federal government raised the tax on loose cigarette tobacco to $24.78.
Yeah, and this is why you have, and I gotta show this woman at the end, man. She just gets me livid on fire.
Smoking rates.
We know cigarettes contribute to so many terrible diseases, and
So what? So what?
so this is a real huge concern for the American Cancer Society.
I don't care. I don't give a damn about the American Cancer Society. Who are they or you to tell anybody what they can or cannot do?
We don't want to see all the progress that we've made and being...
That is not your choice. If somebody wants to go jump off a bridge, that's their choice. They're not hurting anybody else. Now, whenever it comes to smoking, yeah, you want to go light up and smoke like a chimney, go ahead. Don't do it around me, but go find yourself a spot, knock yourself out. I don't care.
being able to raise these taxes to go backwards.
At the smokers.
No, screw you, you authoritarian liberal piece of trash.
Choice store today, customers said if the government raised taxes on pipe tobacco, it would take away their only way to get low-cost cigarettes.
And I don't care. I don't care if they have low-cost cigarettes or not either. On the other side of it, it's like people have vices. Drinking, smoking, sex, eating too much. I mean, there are people who are hundreds of pounds. That's their vice. It's something that they have a hard time saying no to. It's their addiction that they have. We all suffer through life with some kind of temptation of one kind of another. Here's another dumb one.
This will cost you more in Philadelphia because politicians there voted to tax these.
This video is called Stossel, the Philadelphia soda tax scam, and this is from ReasonTv. Again, all of these videos. I'll have links in the description below so you can watch this garbage.
Eyes are 13, the nays are 4. I'm sorry, no responsible.
Who the hell is there? Who the hell goes to these things? Activists. That's it. Big company paying their activists because this is not what normal people do who have a life because they're busy running their lives. The people who are sharing this are not regular normal people. These are people who are just screwed up.
Listen to the applause.
No kidding.
The sugar sweet beverage.
There was a
And that's all who's there. It's just politicians, it's liberals, it's, or not liberals, but lobbyists. It's a bunch of nonsense. And then check this crap out. So it kind of hurts their businesses, but then check this. Here's the loophole.
Bruno's. They crossed the street because Bruno's is located right on the outer edge of Philly.
Like I just sold or juice. I go 35th Street.
Right, these customers just cross the street. Save a buck.
When I want something to drink, I go right there.
But he comes here for the pizza.
Yeah.
It is so stupid. It's just virtue signaling. That's all it is. Oh, look at what we did. Absolutely nothing. If these people want the stuff, it's the exact same thing with this whole nonsense on the war of drugs. Is drugs bad? Yep. I don't believe in them at all. But you know what? You can make them illegal until cows fall from the sky. And it's not going to stop people from doing it. Drug use is illegal all across the nation, and it has been that way for decades. They started the stupid war on drugs with that damn Nancy Reagan whenever I was a little kid, and it's done nothing. You know what works? You know what I found that has really worked whenever I do all this stuff and I look at this? It's whatever you regulate it. You don't make it illegal, but you do regulate it. Because you know what these illegal companies can't do? They can't compete with legal companies. And they do this in other countries especially, where they'll make drugs legal, but they'll put on stipulations. And the stipulations would be something like, well, you have to go into this facility. And this facility is licensed. And part of the reason why they got licensed is because the facility is clean. We know where it's coming from. It isn't getting mixed in with other chemicals that are harmful to you, that don't do anything. They just, it's just another white powdery substance, for example. And it doesn't do anything for you but harm you. Doesn't get you high or whatever. But drug dealers will do that. They'll mix it up so it's not pure. And so because it's regulated, you know that you're only getting at least not as many poisonous compounds in the mixture. It's just exactly what it is. And then whenever they get set up, and they now have a permanent building, it's only one time, they're paying their employees. Whenever it's illegal, like whenever you have like drugs coming in from Colombia, they'll go in and they'll burn down everything. And then they have to rebuild it all up. And they keep having to go from location to location to location, and they'll lose a whole lot of their product and their people, and they'll have to bail people out of prison and all this stuff. And so there's a lot of cash that's wasted in fighting the system. But whenever they say, no, we're going to make this a part of the system, oh, well then they don't have all those expenses. So they get to sell it for real cheap, and it's quality controlled. And then that takes the illegal side out of it. And you can usually fight it a lot better with other things that people are going to be more heavily in favor of fighting things on, such as, well, not only can you only go to this location to get it, and we know that it's controlled, but if we ever catch them selling to children, then they'll lose their license. And if we ever catch them selling it at a playground or at a school, they'll lose their license. And so if you really wanted to get it away from school or from kids, that makes it a lot easier. It's going to be much harder to find a drug dealer selling there at school. It's not a perfect solution. I mean, they can still get a hold of it, of course. It's just like, the kids aren't supposed to have cigarettes either, but they're still smoking that. They were smoking cigarettes whenever I was young going in school. I'm sure that hasn't changed at all. Is there anything else? So, yeah, it's filled with loopholes. It's because you can't get everyone on the same page at all. You can go to different cities, different counties, different states, different countries, and you can get away with all of this. So if there's something that's going on with you in your life that you don't like, then all you need to do is take a look at, start with the closest places and see, well, do they have this going on? Oh, they don't? Well, then that's what I'm going to do. And today, with the internet, it's even easier than ever before. So for these people, for example, if they wanted to buy soda and they had this high tax, well, you can just order a crap ton of it online. You don't have to even cross the street anymore, and you can just have it delivered for you. So that might require a little bit of planning in advance. It's like, yeah, I want this much soda for next week, and so I'm going to order it today, and it'll be, but you can do it. So, and the same thing with all these tax loopholes. You know, you can now set all this stuff up online, and it's ridiculous. So I don't blame Fauci for doing all of this, but there is that question of, so all these kind of taxes and regulations and stuff, they're all lies. They don't do what they really do. They just make it inconvenient for people, and it doesn't solve the problem. Because like this lady here, you know, who is she? Who is she to tell you that you can or cannot smoke? Who is she to tell you that you can or cannot drink Cokes and sodas? Who is she to tell you that you can or cannot drink alcohol? Who is she to tell you about doing anything? It's your life. Now, I'll tell you why. Because this is a moral question, is what it really is. If you're a Christian, you're going to have a set of beliefs about what it is that's right or wrong. If you're a Jew, you'll have a different set of beliefs. If you're a Muslim, you'll have a different set. If you're a Buddhist, you'll have a different set. If you're a Chinese Confucianist, you'll have a different set of beliefs. They're all different. Who's right? We don't have a damn idea, because people don't die and come back and say, this is what happened. Oh, there was nothing. It's atheism that was right. So I want to live it up. And so, you know what? Because this is the end. Whenever you die, you know what? I want to smoke and drink and have sex with everybody I can get my hands on and do cocaine or whatever. How is that wrong? You've got one life. Live it up. But if it's Christians, maybe they're right. And it's like, oh man, no, I don't want to drink and become an alcoholic, because the Bible states how your body's a temple and you need to take care of it. And, you know, like Moses was a drunk, and it was like, no, that wasn't very good. And his son saw him naked, you know, and it's like it's a whole different thing. But we don't know. And that's why freedom is so important, so that you can do what you know for yourself to be best. I don't know what it is, because I don't know myself. And neither does this stupid dumb... Try to watch my language. Neither does this woman, or any of these politicians, or anyone else. That's why, you know what? The attitude should absolutely be, I don't know, I don't care, this is my best information that I know, I hope it helps you, good luck. Because we're all trying to figure it out together. Now, does she mean bad? Yes, she absolutely means bad. You know why? Because this is her job. Now, if she was talking about something that was like taxes, it's like, well, she doesn't know anything about that. I wouldn't hold her accountable to that. But whenever she's a part of, what was it specifically? The Cancer Association Society or whatever. It's like, even if she doesn't know, that should be a part of her job to know. Absolutely. Whether she's lying intentionally or unintentionally, I don't care, because of her job. It's not anybody's fault but her own that she is too stupid and too lazy that she doesn't know the answer to this. And the answer is, mind your damn business, you stupid authoritarian maniac. Don't tell me what to do. I'll knock you in your face. You want to tell me I can't put a cigarette in my face? I'll put my fist in yours. What the hell is wrong with people? It's like, you want to do it? Fine, go ahead. I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. But That's just my opinion. And that's what she's doing. She is spouting her opinion about what's right or wrong. It's like, does it hurt your body? Yes, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. We do a lot of things that hurt our bodies. There are people that go out there and they do construction work and they hurt themselves constantly. There are soldiers who go out there and they fight in battles and they hurt themselves constantly. That doesn't mean that it's wrong because you got hurt. Anyways, if you've understood what I've said, then give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, because this is what I'm trying to deal with. I am going to deal with the truth, and I'm going to put this out there. And the answer for this stuff that I firmly believe in is that leave people alone. If this is what she wants to believe, I don't have a problem with it. Until she starts telling me what I have to do or anyone else, no. So like that video, subscribe, become a member, help me out, because I'm going to make a website because I know how to deal with this, and we will get it done. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.